Exploring the world of regions, a critical analysis. Group development. Members Christine Kiambao, Jovelyn Atanasio, Vladimir Omar, Virgilio Bamaclas, and Cleto Aquino Jr. Introduction. This study is to analyze the world of regions, made the global North and South regions and ASEAN regions. The main goal is to do research on reliable sources and give information about these regions, to eventually answer general questions about this topic. Lastly, give recommendations on how to strategize, reduce negative impacts in each regions, and finalize a solution for our conclusion. Global divides. Economy, generally speaking, states in the global north are wealthier, less unequal, and more democratic. Meaning to say, they are developed nations that export highly advanced manufactured goods. In contrast, states in the south are typically poorer developing nations with younger, more fragile democracies. Politics. Being categorized as part of the North implies development as opposed to belonging to the South, which implies a lack of trade-off. According to N. Olufemi Mimico, the South lacks the right technology. It implies that it is politically unstable. Its economies are divided, and its foreign exchange earnings depend on primary product exports from the North. Along with the fluctuation of prices, the low level of control it exercises over imports and exports condemn the South to conform the imperialist system. Social disparities. Let me just read this one first. Inequality. The global South has higher income and wealth inequality rates than the global North. For example, in 2020, the richest 1% of the population in North America and in Western Europe receive around 35% of the wealth, while the poorest is 50% receive 19%. Technology. One of the root causes of this is AI divide, found in structural limitations as there are more marked gaps between the global North and global South. Successful adoption of AI on a scale level requires a demanding infrastructure that has elements of technical infrastructure, models and tools, data and talent and capacity. To explain, inequality is showing disparity when it comes to income and wealth. The percentage of errors on countries, while the example for technological disparity is about the AI world, in which some countries are not able yet to achieve AI since it demands standard infrastructures and elements. History and contemporary. How it affects some factors. After the Second World War, countries joined the First World. A new categorization system was established called the North-South divide. The First World countries became known as the North, and the Third World countries became known as the South. During this time, countries were primarily categorized according to their alignment between the Russian East and the American West. Countries in the East like the Soviet Union and China, which became classified as Second World countries. In the West, the United States and its allies were labeled as First World countries. This division left out many countries which were poorer than the First World and Second World countries. So, the history shows here that after the Second World War, classifications were implemented to countries, to which belongs to the First World, Second World, and Third World. This classification is based on the country's wealth and power. With their entitlement, other countries that are poor are being left out. Jumping to the next one. Examine the impact of these divides on international relations, trade and development. There are some factors that makes it impactful on the previous slides. It showed in social disparities there's a gap between inequality and technology. Advancements between North and South. Since these advancements are still developing in South regions, trade are still in progress for perfection and development is still under maintenance. Meaning to say, inequality and technology is one of the key main factors why Global North is a success. Next one is propose solutions to bridge global divides and promote equitable development. To bridge global divide, okay, let's try to go here. Okay, To bridge global divides, a resolution that we have thought of is to introduce technologies or do programs globally. Sharing knowledge is key to having equitable development. Since some countries already have basic technology, it can be used to give information. Examples are online seminars and free certification, right? Okay. So another resolution is good relationship among nations. By doing certain agreements, it will allow other nations to cross borders with good reasons and positive intentions. By doing so, barriers of all kinds when it comes to global concerns will be forfeited or reduced.
Global South Geopolitics. The venerable concept of the Global South has enjoyed a remarkable revival as a descriptor of post-colonial and developing country solidarity in world affairs. The term's resurgence, however, has also engendered pushback, with many calling for a base-up of expression. Writing in the Financial Times, columnist Alan Beatty calls the label patronizing, factually inaccurate on contradiction in terms, and deeply unhelpful. It explains, under the geopolitics, the term used, which is global south, is discriminating and stereotype in which affects the political view. Whenever global south is heard, it comes to mind that is still a developing country with less opportunity and continuously facing challenges. Challenges: poverty. A large number of nations in the global south are impoverished with the low income and subpar housing. Health. The global south frequently has indicate health systems. Both economics and health system have been affected by the pandemic. Inequality. The global south is struggling against global inequality and failure for democracies to generate equal opportunities for development. With these three issues, it defines global south countries are struggling based on research. These are a big main issues that should be resolved. Poverty being presented, it affects health and equality due to the keywords. Impoverished, which means deprived strength and low incomes that affected everyday needs. Health were neglect also, especially when pandemic came into the place of the most government official and health professionals are trying to flatten the curve in the most cautious ways possible. Lastly is inequality due to the failure of democracy in the government. It barriers opportunities that are needed for development. Contribution of Global South. Intercultural communication. The world has become more inclusive as a result of the Global South's promotion of cultural integration in interchange. South-South collaboration. South-South collaboration, which seeks to advance sustainable development via reciprocal benefits, has been encouraged by the Global South. This contribution made it more complex for countries promoting cultural exchange. We are able to know others' countries' beliefs and traditions, while the collaboration helped to us to sustain development by the help of the community. The World Bank contributes the Global South in several ways, including technical assistance. The World Bank provides technical support to help countries implement projects and reforms. Long-term loans. The World Bank's loans are typically long-term and borrowing countries have a longer repayment period than commercial banks. Climate change. The World Bank helps countries adapt to climate change. For example, the World Bank supports the development of the low carbon transportation systems. With the help of the World Bank, the Global South proceeds to have development. World Bank has a big factor since it funds the issues for temporary and long-term issues. May it be because of climate change, disaster, or casualties from war. Initiatives led by Global South nations. The IBSA Trust Fund. To reduce hunger and poverty, the UNDP oversees the management of this fund, which is financed by India, Brazil, and South Africa. Its objective is to assist other development nations in their fight against hunger and poverty by disseminating best practices and development experiences from these nations. Live green innovations. The goal of this project create long-term remedies to Nash's plastics pollution problem. Additionally, it seeks strength marginalized communities, particularly tribal and rural families. The initiative presented is showing that there is still cooperation in the global south despite of facing challenges. They are trying to solve main issues such as poverty, hunger through practices and experiences. Not only that, they are also trying to do programs for tribes and rural families to strengthen communities.
Hello, good day. My name is Vladimir Siamar. I will discuss Asian regionalism, concept of regionalism and significance in Asia. The goal of regionalism as a political ideology is to provide the citizens of one or more subnational regions more political clout, influence, and autonomy, the development of political or social system based on one or more regions as well as the national normative or economic interests of a particular regions, group of regions, or other subnational entity are its main focus. In layman terms, like nationalism, it seeks to increase or strengthen the consciousness and loyalty to a distinct region with a homogeneous population. Asia's regionalism, a trend that is gaining attention from around the world, is defined by plurality and dispute in addition to being a reaction to the necessity of practical cooperation in areas such as commerce and security. Although this establishment of regional organization is influenced by distinct national interests and rivalries as well as by various perspectives on the concept of region. The spirit of each regions are supposed to have cooperation and security. Analyze the role of major Asian economies, example China, Japan, India, in fostering regional collaboration on the economic front, the Asian Free Trade Area, or AFTA, as well as other economic partnership agreements EPAS and free trade agreements FTIs with various countries including Japan, China. The ROK in India were concluded, creating a network of free trade agreements or FTAs centered around Asia. With regard to the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership or RCEP, the negotiations started in 2013 and are being advanced with the aim of the conclusion of a high-quality agreement in such fields as trade in goods, trade in services, investment, intellectual property, and e-commerce. Examine key regional organizations. Example, SAARC, Asian, and their impact on economic, cultural, and security cooperation, economic. Economic, investment and trade. Trade and investment within the area have expanded as a result of Asian reduction of trade barriers and simplification of customs procedures. For instance, the Philippines has witnessed a rise in Asian economic collaboration and investment growth in the economy, high macroeconomic fundamentals, and high economic growth have been experienced by Asian member nations, with trade and investment being part of the economy. Trade barriers are going to be reduced, and they introduce simplification through custom procedure. Another examination is that there is a growth in the economy by being part of the Asian community, experienced through macroeconomic fundamentals. Encouraging cultural variety. Asian honors the variety and cultural legacy of its member nations, encouraging cross-cultural interactions through tourism and cooperative educational initiative. Asian fosters cross-cultural interactions, fostering a sense of identity, a shared regional identity, help Asian members feel a sense of belonging and solidarity. Under the cultural category, education initiative are prioritized improving and maintaining current and legacy cultural. Thus, there is a sense of belonging and solidarity. Discuss the challenge and opportunity of Asian regionalism in a globalized world. Challenges: political and security conflicts, territorial dispute within and outside of Asia, as well as the shifting balance of power in the Asian Pacific. Lack of regional cooperation. Asia lacks effective cooperation on climate change, water, energy, food security, and disaster management. On the political view, since there are disagreements within and outside Asia, the power of the community in Asian Pacific is having struggles in shifting balance on their territory. Also, lacking of regional cooperation is shown as same regions are still in development. It remains unbalanced for the current time, as they don't have enough resources to fulfill needs on their own.
ASEAN integration. Understand the objective principles and pillars of ASEAN, like political security, economic and socio-cultural communities. Objective. The objectives of both organizations are fairly similar. Regional security, more influence over influential neighbors, and economic development and the maintenance of competitiveness in a globalizing world. Principles. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations member states have adopted the following fundamental principles in their relation with each other: mutual respect for the independence, sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, and national identity of all nations, non-interference in the internal affairs of one another, peaceful settlement of difference or disputes, renunciation of force, threat or use of force, effective cooperation among themselves. The fundamental principles of ASEAN is stating how each country should do their action, showing ethics, guides, decision, and respecting each other of the ASEAN. The three pillars of ASEAN community are ASEAN Political Security Community, or APSC, aims to create a peaceful and stable region and to address non-traditional security issues like arms smuggling, people trafficking, and cyber security. ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, aims to create a integrated regional economy that's connected to the global economy. ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community, or ASCC, aims to improve the quality of life for ASEAN citizens and to promote sustainable development. These pillars are aiming to address issues, maintain peace, improvement of economy, and determine the quality of life from ASEAN citizens for sustainable development. Analyze the benefits and challenges of ASEAN integration for member nations. The benefit of being the member of ASEAN integration is that economies are having less barriers when it comes to trading, economy and culture exchange globally. These things are the advantage of member in which non-members and vice versa is struggling of not having the same benefits. The challenges are governance challenges in which the rule of law may affect the business when it comes to limitation in economic disparity. There are differences with income and human capital between member nations can make it difficult to target markets and invest. Evaluate the impact of ASEAN policies on trade, regional security, and cultural exchange. Number 1. Trading policies. To reduce trade barriers, eliminate tariffs, reduce non-tariff barrier, enhance competitiveness, increase the competitiveness of ASEAN businesses in the global market. Number 2. Regional security, peaceful resolution of disputes. ASEAN encourages the peaceful resolution of conflicts through dialogue, negotiation, and diplomacy. Centrality of ASEAN. ASEAN emphasizes its role as the primary driver of regional security cooperation. 3. Cultural exchange. ASEAN Declaration on Cultural Heritage. ASEAN members countries are encouraged to exchange culture and programs to raise awareness and sensitivity to culture. Discuss the future of ASEAN in addressing emerging regional and global challenges. Digital transformation and climate change. To generalize the answer to this question about ASEAN integration in terms of technology and climate change to the people, since there are policies implemented to the members of the ASEAN community. The regional challenges are going to be much easier than the global challenges, since they will prioritize first the member of their community rather than the non-members. However, there are still going to be some contribution that the ASEAN will be offering to non-members. It may be limited, but there will be a way. Similar to member countries, benefits in terms of digital transformation and a climate change.
Conclusion and recommendation. We recommend to have this study to be aired or used on other projects, as this study helped us to understand global issues and how it gets organized through communities and engagement. In conclusion, all of the topics that we studied are very timely. This research is helpful in terms of identifying issues such as challenges and opportunities. The global world is complicated, although there are resolutions within this topic. There are still developments needed that's being aided by cooperation of policy implementation and reducing barriers. That's all. Thank you for listening. Thank you.